So I'm a little sick, so Giselle doesn't want to be near me. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Harmonies and Hindsights. I'm a little under the weather today. I'm sure you can hear, and we're keeping a healthy distance between us. And we have our squishmallows. Mine's like a owl. And she's got Dumpling, which was featured in last week's episode. Why am I out of breath, bro? We were just running around setting up. Last week's episode, we talked a little bit about songwriting and things that I've learned from songwriting. This is episode 5. Today we have Giselle Schiller. Giselle, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Giselle Schiller. I was Natalie's roommate in college for like 3 years.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah. Also a songwriter, producer.
Oh, yeah.
Living in LA.
Woo!
Struggling. Yeah, that's basically me.
Awesome. Yeah, Giselle and I knew each other from college. We both went to Berkeley together, and we like took a leap of faith as like random roommates. We should talk about that.
Yeah, we should
stereotyping
talk about how that
each other. Yeah, we stereotyped each other.
We did.
Oh yeah,
100%.
We'll get into that. But today I just wanted to talk about Giselle and bring Giselle on the show because she's had a really, really interesting life in many, many facets, and I think she's a great person to learn from. And so this is why we have Giselle here in the comfort of our home. So Giselle, in your perspective, tell us about like us first meeting and like what that experience was like.
Yes. So Natalie and I first conversated on Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was right after I found out I got into Berkeley and I was going to be in the dorms, and I was like, I am too scared. Mind you, I was homeschooled my last 2 years of high school, so like my social skills were like fading. So I was like, I cannot jump into a random person that I'm going to be changing clothes with.
And I'm also somebody who's like not super like extroverted either. So I think I was also worried about living with someone in like such close quarters. Anyway, continue.
Were we in a group chat? I don't remember. Is that how we found each other?
Yeah, there's like,
been.
I'm sure all you out there in college, you've got like those college living chats, and then you just kind of find people maybe on a whim.
I think it must have been like a Berkeley 2023 group chat.
Yeah, like admitted, going in the fall, like let's find people to live with.
And then I remember like I posted an intro there, and then I was like stalking the page. And then I was messaging a lot of people, and I was asking the same thing. I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah about me. Like, I was in Brazil at that time. I was raised in Brazil. I lived there for like 17 years. So I say I'm from Brazil.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah. And I was like messaging people very like copy, paste. And my question at the end was, tell me a little bit about yourself. And everyone would be like,
I love music.
Yeah, I love music. Like, I'm very chill.
Super easygoing.
Yeah, super
like,
easygoing.
I don't care.
Yeah, like nothing specific about them. And I was like, God, like this is gonna be a little difficult. And then I messaged. Or did you message? I messaged you.
You
first.
messaged me, yeah.
With that copy paste.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Natalie was the only person that responded, like an actual thing.
I was like, I don't like being up late, and not like mean, but I'm
you
like,
were honest. Don't believe everyone
no,
was chill.
No, because I said, I don't really like to party that much. I go to bed at like 10 o'clock, so I hope that's okay. I like a relatively clean space, blah, 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 blah. Because then if you disagree, then why would you live together?
Yeah.
You know?
Which, and I'm not.
You know what? We're like,
our dorm was like literally split down in half, like clean. Yeah. And then clothes all over the floor.
But you were respectful about it.
I was.
It was like, if I was never like, Giselle has to clean her side of the room, because she kept it her side of the room. So
it wasn't dirty. It was just messy.
No, it wasn't. There is a difference.
It wasn't
There's a
smelly,
difference.
You know?
No, we had like a good dorm building too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a little bit about how we first met. Kind of what I was saying earlier about the stereotype thing. When you're going to college and you're 18 and you like grow up with all these friends and you're like, dude, like how am I gonna like find other people, especially like coming from a different country, and like I got good vibes from Giselle, but deep down I'm like, dude, like what if she likes to party? I was like, I'm very different. Like what if she doesn't respect? But like I
still don't understand how you said yes.
Because I don't know, I got good vibes because we wanted the same things too. It was good vibes. It was good conversation. She seemed nice. I mean, both of us deep down, I'm sure, moved, and we were like,
all I wanted to know is that you weren't crazy.
Which I don't think I am.
No.
Sometimes.
You're sometimes crazy, but like not in a bad way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Giselle, I have a question.
Yes.
Tell the people about growing up in Brazil, what that was like, why did you go to music school? Has music been like a huge part of your life?
My God, yeah.
Give me that. Let's talk about that.
I grew up in Brazil, like I've said, in Campinas, which a lot of people make fun of the name. I'm not going to explain why. If you get it, you get it. It's in the state of São Paulo, which is also a state, about an hour away from the city. Grew up there, I went to so many schools, and there was a lot of change in my life growing up because my dad was a pilot. So we kind of had like a
up in the air,
like what
literally.
are we doing? Where are we going? I lived in like Memphis for a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they say Monday, Tuesday. Like I was like, what?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Great food there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, music. What I always say, it's very cliche, but I think that's why a lot of people go into music. Music was like the one consistent thing for me that was like an anchor to a lot of change that I had growing up. So I always found stability in music. Yeah, I think that's why I started. I know I started getting into music when my dad's friend was moving, and he had a wall piano, a Baldwin, which is a very good piano.
It's a good piano.
And he was like, I'm going to throw it away. And my dad was like, I'll take it. And he took it, and I was like 3 or something, and I was just like, ding, ding, ding. And I think that's how I started. Why I went to Berkeley?
Oh, yeah.
God.
I think we all just,
Yeah, my parents were not very supportive of me even going to college. They were like, you can just go to community college. And I was like...
In Brazil, right?
In Brazil or America, they were like, we don't really give a fuck. And then I was like, okay. And then I had a guitar teacher who was like, have you heard of Berkeley? And I was like, no. Because in my brain, I wasn't going to do anything. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you should apply. And then I had an uncle who also heard of Berkeley, and he was like, you should go to 5 weeks. So he paid for me to go to 5 weeks, which was great.
Shout out
to Mark. Great opportunity. That changed my mind completely. Fell in love with it. And then I applied early action, and I got in. And that was the only school I applied to.
That's right. Meant to be. I think it was meant to be.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
That's awesome. I just lost my train of thought.
That's fine.
Berkeley.
I was about to jump in my audition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was going. So I auditioned in Boston. You auditioned here in LA.
Yeah.
I auditioned in Boston because my uncle, he lived in New Hampshire. So I went there to visit him, and I just took the opportunity to see Boston again.
Yes.
And I remember going up the elevator. I remember in the waiting room, it was only me and 2 other girls. I was like, oh, damn. It's mostly dudes. I was not expecting that.
A lot of guys.
Because at 5 week, there were a lot of girls.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And then I remember going out the elevator, and the, like, what's it called? Like the orientation girl.
Oh,
she
like,
was like,
yeah.
I was fine. I was nervous, but like, I feel like I looked okay. She was like, are you going to faint? And I was like, no. She was like, okay.
Why would she?
I was like, okay.
Like, let me just give you a little scare before you get in there. Just to freak you out a little bit. Keep things spicy.
Yeah.
Different uncle, but we should tell the people a good story because I feel like I do a lot of interviews, but Giselle and I have been through a lot together as a team, as one unit. As we know, actually 4 years ago, yesterday, COVID, right? So we're freshmen, but you know what was lucky about being on a semester schedule is that we had pretty much our entire freshman year, minus like a month. It was March, and then like Berkeley's done in like late May. So it's
True.
like, I feel like we went out, we like made friends, we had a little group, right?
Yeah.
So that was good. But let's tell them about our COVID experience. So Giselle's from Brazil, which is 3,000 plus miles away.
Yep.
I'm from Los Angeles, which is 3,000 plus miles away. Neither of us have family on the East Coast. She had like the one uncle.
Yeah, my uncle was not there anymore. He moved to Italy.
He moved.
so
no longer even there. Yeah. And then, oh my God, is recalling this is like, I'm sure for many people, this was like an experience.
Yeah.
We were like in school. We were like hearing about like Harvard was like, okay, we're going to go online.
Yeah. And
we
I
were
remember
like,
everyone was like, let's listen to Harvard. Cause like Harvard
knows all.
Yeah. And Harvard, like people, like the hierarchy of college in Boston is Harvard.
Yeah.
So if Harvard's doing something,
you follow. And I remember I was with my ear training teacher. Shout out Paul Stiller. I don't know if he'll ever see this. Paul, we loved you so much. You made COVID so wonderful online. Paul. Anyway, yes. So I was in ear training. I was in ear training 1 doing my little spring midterm, and they had just sent an email that said, oh, by the way, if you live in California, New York, or Florida, you like can't go home for spring break. It was like just those three states.
It was like
and international.
It was like if you go home, we can't guarantee you can come back.
Yeah, and at that point, I'm like, she knows. I'm like, type A stress. Like Giselle keeps me grounded because she's like, Natalie, nobody cares. Like just go be you. And I'm like, but what if? So I thought I can't go home because I can't deal with the regret of like not being able to go back to school. Then I remember I go to my ear training exam and I'm like crying to Paul. I'm like, Paul, I can't go home for spring break. Like I haven't seen my family for so long. And I was like, yeah, did you hear like Berkeley's going to shut down? And he's like, I've been here fair. I've been here 20 whatever years. Berkeley's never closed for anything. Not even like major snowstorms.
Yeah, they didn't really close for those.
No. And so then pick up the story.
God. Yeah, after Paul... Oh, yeah. My side of it was I was freaking out because I didn't want to go back to Brazil. Yeah. I didn't want to go back to online school because I was already... I did 2 years of homeschooling online. I hated it. And I was like, I remember when I finished that, I was like, never again. Yeah. I was like, thank God.
I just heard a crack in your voice. I could hear the pain like, deep rooted inside.
Oh, my God. After I did online school, I was like, thank God. And then that was happening and I was already shitting my pants to do online school and shitting my pants about going back to Brazil and not being able to come back. Yeah. So I didn't want to go back to Brazil because I love Brazil. Don't get me wrong. Like I talk about Brazil all the time. Yes. I eventually want to move back and stay there. But being in Brazil during a pandemic was not something that I would want to be in. I don't know if you guys know what happened there, but it was a lot worse than here. I remember, was it a Friday the 13th?
Yeah, bad day.
We got an email being like...
You have 2 weeks, bye.
Yeah, you have 2 weeks to get out.
No, and you have a week.
It was a week. It was not even 2. Yeah, it was a week. They were like, you have to get out and you're not able to come back to the dorm and everything has to be cleared out and bye.
And you know what's so funny? Never in my life, I'm not a super jealous person at all, but I saw those like... New Hampshire kids, Vermont, God. Their parents
came to help.
Trunk, and I'm like, dude, you just get to drive home.
Yeah, and your parents can come here and help you.
And we're like, how much is a flight? Where do we put all our stuff? I literally don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and I remember the craze, the first freak out after that was where are we gonna put our stuff and how are we gonna store our stuff? Because there weren't boxes. No. Everything was already like, people were already taking stuff.
They're gone.
And I remember Berkeley had like, they were like, we are trying to like get boxes for you guys. And they had a couple boxes in the lobby, but like they were going. They were going. Yeah. So we packed our stuff mostly in trash bags.
Trash bags. Maybe I should, you know what I'll do? I'll insert some videos.
Oh my God, yeah. Open it, the door.
All right, Giselle, ready to go. We have, which is really funny.
We have videos, yeah.
So here we are, ready to leave, and I'm like, what are the order of events? So we're thinking, at the time, not currently, Giselle couldn't drive. So
yeah, I didn't have a license.
It's just, and like, if we're gonna like move on, so is this a different uncle? It was a different uncle.
It wasn't an uncle. It was like a friend, a family, sort of a family friend that obviously like when this was happening, everyone was trying to help everyone out. Yeah. Thank God. And they were like, we have an attic. You can just put your stuff and your roommate's stuff in our attic. And when you guys come back, you can just pick it up.
So we were like, let's just put all of our expensive music gear in this guy's attic and we'll be back maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, literally maybe. And I remember we were like really nervous because like we have nice guitars. Oh, like, is it going to stay in the cold and then the hot? In the attic. And then we're like, we just have to do it.
We had no choice. And then we're like, okay, check.
Oh, and so then how are we going to get there? Getting a U-Haul was like...
Oh my God. Was luck.
I don't know how we did that.
Yeah. So it's like we're going to go to the uncle's house. Okay, how are we going to get there? I think we toyed around with doing like just like 3 Uber XLs.
We did think about that.
Back and forth.
A lot of people did that.
Which like makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, Giselle, like I don't want to. I have a license. We can get a U-Haul. We can do this. It's going to be fine. And you know, at that point I've only been driving like a year and a half.
And mind you, I only knew you for like
6 months.
Not even, Natalie.
Not even.
It was not 6 months.
No, it wasn't. Like 4 or 5. I'd only been driving for a year and a half, and I haven't driven since August of the year prior. Oh my God. So put that all together. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, oh no, but Giselle, like, in California, like you have to be 25 to rent a vehicle. But then in Massachusetts, I don't know if it's the same for U-Haul or whatever.
It's different for U-Haul.
But like 18. And I was like, I'm
Let's
18.
go.
I can do that. And then we got the U-Haul. Then Giselle knows.
Oh my God.
My biggest trait that I try to work on is that I'm a people pleaser. It's gotten better, but we were in the U-Haul. We finally got there. I hit a couple curves, but like
no,
no
and
one
mind you,
needed
like
to
the
know
streets
that.
of Boston are very small, other than like Massachusetts Ave.
Yeah.
Like other than that, like it's very tight. Everyone's parking on the sides. People are honking. Like as you know, city. But,
Yeah,
like,
and it's
remember
one-way
that.
streets, like everywhere.
Remember
you can only
that.
go one way. Yeah, remember that. So I'm like, okay, we made it. We're almost out of the city. We pull up in this like really thin alleyway, and there's like traffic behind us. I'm the biggest car there. This guy is like, I don't know what he was. He was like a delivery driver, I think. But he had literally just pulled off on the side of the road, but not far enough, and just put his hazards on and just gets out of the car. And then he was like, just go around me. And I'm this young 18-year-old girl.
It was like a
truck. It was like another truck. He like pulled over and he was like, you have a ton of room.
It was in
Just
the middle
go
of an
around me."
intersection.
Yes. And he's like, just go around me. And then I'm like, I literally can't see where I'm going. I'm going to hit your car. And then he's like, just go around me. And then I rolled down my window and I was like, I'm an 18-year-old girl driving a U-Haul. You need to move your car.
This was the first time I saw Natalie
blow up.
And I was impressed because Natalie's a people
people
pleaser,
pleaser,
and she's always very nice and proper. And I was like,
in my head, I'm like, this is a liability. I need to leave. If I hit your car, I literally don't know how I'm going to tell my parents that. And so we made it through. We put all our stuff in that attic, and then we like separated. For, like,
got Chick-fil-A?
Yes. But a big blessing out of all of that was just by chance in Boston, you know, if you're in college, you have to be signing a lease for like an apartment like way sooner than you think. Depending on the situation. But like a lot of housing issues, especially since we wanted to be like closer to the school. And I remember like, I don't know if we got a new leased apartment in December of the year before.
COVID even.
For fall of the next year.
September, yeah.
So I don't know what we probably would have like never seen each other for like 2 years
if we didn't
have that apartment.
Yeah.
And we were tied. We couldn't stop the lease. And so we just lived in Boston and did school online next to the school that we were going to.
Yeah, it was very weird.
No sense.
And it was like a ghost town when we went back.
Oh yeah, it was depressing.
It was depressing.
And, you know, not to go into too much detail, but like you're stuck in the same friend group. You're not making any new friends.
Yeah.
And college is like the time to like find your people, right?
Branch out and stuff.
But
it was very weird because like when you go to college, like the first couple months is when you like everyone doesn't know anyone.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to talk to everyone. Everyone wants to meet everyone. And that got cut short. So we were stuck with the same group of people.
Yeah. And at the time, like they were awesome friends. I'm just saying like the part of you that's like, I love my friends, but like, wow, like I feel like I'm not meeting anybody.
Yeah.
Like you're stuck with these people that you know because you're used to it. And that's,
and we couldn't branch out anymore.
No, I feel like, and then I feel like that wasn't just us too.
No,
like there were so many
people.
friend groups I knew that were friend groups. And I'm like, wow, you're all still friends just like me. Cause I'm sure none of you want to branch out and like not have any friends. So
and then like also like, and then it was online and then it was hybrid. And then when it was hybrid, people were trying to like do parties and then stuff would get shut down.
Yeah.
And it was just hard. I mean,
it is what it is. Yeah. And there was always like, I remember that weird time where it was like, well, this person's throwing a thing, but like, do you know where they've been? Like, did they have friends who had COVID? Like, blah, blah. So like every time you had like a party, it was like, where have they been? Or like, this person can't go because they had COVID and you can't bring blah, blah, blah because your friend was exposed to COVID, which like fair, but like
it was
throwing a party was like planning like a wedding.
Yeah, bro. It was complicated. What I'm about to say needs to be cut and put in a short.
Okay.
Because I'm curious if anyone has had this experience because I have, and I'm trying to know if someone else has. Mm-hmm. I had so many nightmares during COVID of being in a big group of people and it being like scary because I remember after like a couple months, I remember the feeling of being near a lot of people freaked me out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I would get nightmares of like being in a concert venue and being like, oh my God, like so many people, like what is going on?
Like it's over.
Yeah, like I'm going to die. Yeah.
No,
so has
absolutely.
anyone had that?
Comment below. Please comment below if you've had that experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was our COVID story. Giselle, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've gone to like music college and stuff. Let's talk about being in our 20s and figuring out life as a musician. Give me the like big positives and give me the like what's it like out there.
The big positive, the only positive the only positive honestly that I have from being a musician, and it's been the same positive forever, is that I've always known what I wanted
Out of music, yeah.
out of life.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I know I want to do music, which is a big privilege because I know a lot of people don't know what they want to do, don't know what they like. Yeah. And I think that's the one main thing as a musician.
You have no doubt about what
you
you're
have no
doing.
doubt. I mean,
Good.
obviously, like some days you're like, oh, I hate music. Like, what am I doing? Imposter syndrome, whatever.
Yeah.
But like deep down, you know, this is what I love.
You're not
That's
like
the main positive.
oh, I wish I went to law school.
Yeah, like, oh, I wish I did nursing. Like,
No,
no.
that's good. That is really good.
Yeah. Negatives of music or being in your 20s?
Give me one for each.
God, negative of music, jobs. Negatives of 20, jobs. They're both jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the job stuff's crazy right now.
Oh my God.
You know, like maybe it's always been this way. And I think it's just because you say we're 2-year-old adults. I think it's like you turn 20 and then it's like
you're no longer
your
a
life
teenager. Yeah,
like,
you're an adult.
begins, you know?
Yeah.
Something about that age for me is like, okay, now it's like you're not a teenager, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Being an adult means making your own decisions. And that's where it gets stressful.
Yes. Share what you want to share about that. But
God.
we have so many long talks about this, like, you know, being grateful for what you do have. And I just want to tell the people, Giselle is like super hardworking. She's like in the best way. I don't know. I hope this comes out. I hope this comes out right, bro. Okay. It will. The number one, when I think of somebody who can like, if they have to do something, it will be done. And if it's pulled out of their ass, bro, it's gonna happen. That's Giselle. In the best way, you're like, I need a job right now. She gets a job. She finds her own opportunities. So tell me about like being in a position in life where like that's something you have to do and it's not really a choice.
Yeah. So I think that comes from
she's very independent.
From me being independent and me not having a choice to be dependent. I don't have financial support from my family. So I've always, since college, I've been like, I just have to figure it out. And I think having that fire up your butt makes you just have to do it. Comes with a lot of positives, like what you said. Mm-hmm. Like, I just have to get shit done, and I get shit done. Mm-hmm. But it also comes with a lot of negatives, too. Like, very small group of, like, emotional support you have, and, like, all that stuff is, like, missing. Mm-hmm. But you get, I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's a better payoff in some way, but
it's a different level of independence for me to like know you. And it's like, oh, I need insurance now. Okay. I'm going to go research insurance. That's my day today. And it's funny that like, for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to turn 26 and then I'm going to think about insurance. To know somebody who like has a level of independence that I've yet to get to. So it'll be really interesting. I think one day when I get there, you'll be like, I've been doing that.
Yeah, LOL. It comes with its downsides. Don't get me wrong. I mean, emotionally, it's rough and scary, and it's a lot of freaking work. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you're 26 and I'm 26, and you're gonna be like, "How do I get you, bro. Like, I'll be able to give you all the tips
for my insurance.
Like, I know how to do it."
Oh yeah.
I
can't even think about that right now.
It's not that bad. I mean, oh my God, guys. I had to get insurance in Massachusetts, and then I had to get insurance in California.
Should like transfer everything.
I was like, bro. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know, the one thing that makes me feel better, this is a great tip. If you're freaking out about anything government related, like insurance, taxes, getting your driver's license, just think, how many people come to the US and don't speak English and get this done?
True.
Like, you can do it.
Absolutely.
You can do it. So
yes, she got here and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go do my driver's license now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I did I got my driver's license my last week in Boston.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had like very basically no driving experience. No driving experience.
No.
I paid for like 2 lessons with this dude, and then got my
time to
and then I was like, gotta get my test because I'm not gonna do it in California. Because also in California, it's way more
harder. Yeah,
there's way more stuff to do than in
Yes.
Massachusetts. So I was like,
Yes.
I need to do it here because it's just so much more complicated in California. And I remember doing my test, and then after the test, you pull back up, and like the dude's sitting next to you, and he had like this paper, and he had like a bunch of stuff checked, and he looked at me, and he did a big X on the paper, and he was like, "You failed," and I was like, "What?" And he held that for like a minute, and then he was like, "Just kidding," and I was like, "Don't." Anyway, it's funny now. So
no, it is. Speaking of that, okay. When I took my driver's test here. Okay, I took my driver's test when I was 16, and I was so stressed out. I remember in California, you have to pull over on the curb, and you don't have to do like parallel parking, but you have to back up like 18 feet or something.
I had a parallel park.
Really?
Yeah, and I did it first try.
That's right. Of course you would, bro.
Of course I did.
Yes. She was like, okay, back up. I'm in like a residential, okay? There's like a really pretty line of trees. It's like tree, more trees. She's like, okay, can you pull under? Wait, that was not English. Go pull over under that tree. She was not very nice. I'm just going to say that. She was not very nice. Go pull over under that tree. Okay. She goes, I meant that tree. And so I'm like, okay, do you want me to back? She's like, just go. And I'm like, okay, back up. Then she goes, first off, I was with my mom. She failed the first 3 people ahead of me. So I was like, Mom, if I don't pass today, it's literally not me. Unless I literally like run a stop sign or hit a human being. Then at the end, she does her little thing. You can get like, I forget how many you can get wrong. She marked me wrong for like 14 things. I still passed. But I'm like, dude, I thought I really didn't do anything wrong. Not even in like that way. Just like, I stopped at every stop sign. I never sped. Like I looked over my shoulder when I backed up my 18 feet.
Well, looking over your shoulder is a big one, guys.
It is.
I know people that failed because of that. And and someone else said.
We have a close friend.
Yeah. That was like, remember to look back and make sure they saw you looking back.
Yes. And this person did fail their test the first time just because they didn't look over their shoulder. So I remember on my test, this person took the test before me the day before. And so I was like, if that didn't happen to you, I wouldn't have known and I would have failed too. So then,
didn't you tie your hair up in a ponytail?
I put my hair in a ponytail so
they could see.
And I was like, okay, can you switch lanes? I'm like an owl, crane neck.
That was literally me too. When I was like looking back the other way, I would put my hand and I'd be like, I would give eye contact. I was like, you see me looking at you, and then I would look back. I was so scared of that, and like I didn't have enough time to do it again.
No, I know.
So I had to.
It's one of those things where you're like, you just have to pass it because then you have to. There's like a waiting period to take it again.
And then you have to pay again.
Yep. No.
Yeah.
Giselle, we're at 30 minutes. That was so fast.
Oh, damn, that was so fast. I could talk about so much more.
Right? Well, we can do another episode. I only know so many people. So.
Ready? I'm going to count my friends.
Okay. They're good friends, though.
No, yeah. Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Remember, God, I can't speak.
She gets excited when she's.
I get really excited. My head thinks faster than my mouth can talk.
Your head thing, your brain.
My brain can think faster than I can talk.
My head thing, you know.
You know, the head thing that we all have. Remember to watch last week's episode if you enjoy music. That's why I love this podcast, because it's Harmonies and Hindsights. So we can have some fun conversations, but we can also talk about music because this is the place to do it. Yep. And the week before that, we interviewed our very own Carson Giselle. And you can still watch that now. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.